We've gone online actually for the first one here. So this is the printout of it, saying TFL and Sadiq Khan are slated for a disgraceful advert. Now, the point being this, that some people sadly do use train tracks to end their own lives. And unbelievably, they've put an ad about assisted dying next to them. Have a look at this. So you can see this is a film of it. My dying wish is to, basically it says my dying wish is not to have my family see me in pain.
Wow,
there's a hell of a lot of them.
Of positivity to start your morning commute.
Yeah, my dying wish is to have joy. Here we are. My dying wish is my family won't see me suffer and I won't have to. And I mean, that's a funny old wish to have when you're dancing around in your pyjamas, but...
I mean, the weird thing about TFL is obviously they're quite censorious in other things. Like, you literally couldn't have an image of jam in an advert. That's true.
Do you remember they stopped cake at one point?
So the comedian Ed Gamble, who's out on tour, he had a poster that literally got censored that was, I think the title is something like Hot Dog Dickety or something like that. And they had to replace it with a cucumber. So I think...
They weren't allowed a sausage?
They weren't allowed to have a sausage because it's too high fat content.
Yeah,
and there are adverts, obviously, for sex toy retailers and so on. But you can have stuff like this.
I mean, what do you think? Because
it's incredibly tasteless. But the idea that it's Sadiq Khan's fault, this has really irritated me, because this is where the Daily Mail, I just think they must sit around and go, what's the most pernicious, mean thing? How can we spin this to make it Sadiq Khan's fault? The idea that he is in on meetings where they're going, oh, we've had an offer from Let Us Choose campaign, they're going to pay X for advertising space, and he's sitting there going, yes, no, yes. That is not his job.
It looks like they've taken the whole station. I mean,
I agree that it's utterly
weird.
Is it weird, though? Let's just think about this for a second. Why is it weird? Everywhere around us, there are items which you could conceivably use to end your own life. I mean, you know, you could have an advertising hoarding fall on you.
Because you're not advertising a product or something that you buy. You're advertising a sort of ideology that you believe in. And I don't think that's what you need to see on billboards.
The public don't get a vote on this, which is what makes it equally...
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of the public, it will be the incongruity and the hypocrisy of what you're not allowed to see on TFL, which I've got to say, some of that has come down from a culture that Sadiq Khan's fostered. You're quite right, he's not doing it on a day-to-day basis.
You mentioned sausages can't be seen. I thought that was for other reasons. There's certainly been a ban on cake, an item of cake, cake-related item. I think there was an advert that was said, are you beach body ready? Yep. Which they also censored.
But again, it's not him. It isn't. I'm sorry, that's not how advertising works. It isn't.
But he's fostered a culture within TFL that's created an environment where you get inconsistencies like this.
I don't know how, really.
I don't necessarily think it's wrong. Because I know you'll disagree. But in the end, maybe a world where we can ask someone to help us end our lives is a better world.
Oh, so I actually am pro
So
that.
you are, yeah.
Yes, if
you just
I
don't think we should talk about it?
No, I think we should absolutely discuss it.
Near
I think it's a really,
railways.
really important discussion point. I think we're all entitled to our own views on what is a very interesting subject. And I think, like most of the public, I feel like you've got to have those really important safeguards in. But I know that if it was me at the end of my life and I was in terrible pain and there was very little dignity left, I would like to have some control over that part of my life.
I do think it's odd that the public... I mean, I know we're a bit scared of referendums. We've all got PTSD from the last one. But I think that this is so obviously something the public should have had a chance to vote on themselves.
Do you think this is what we have MPs for, Jeff? I mean, you have an election.
This is so utterly
you go and you write your MP.
But there are some issues, I think, which cut outside of that are so relevant to day-to-day lives. And a lot of countries that have approved this, I mean, if you look at Switzerland, I mean, they probably have far too many referendums, but this is the exact kind of thing that should be put to the public.
Okay.
But and yet it comes down to something that if you don't want to choose to do that, you don't have to. So if your faith says, I want to just see my days out until, God decides, and you can. You don't have to choose.
No, absolutely.
All right. Gemma,